In the studio, we have the former Charlton and West Ham manager Alan Kirbishley and Aston Villa's all-time leading Premier League goalscorer, Gabby Agbonlahor. Don't worry, Gabby. We'll be talking about your former team a little bit later on. But we're starting things off at Old Trafford, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made 5 changes to the team that won at Sheffield United on Thursday, with David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Fred, Scott McTominay and Dan James all coming in to the lineup. Paul Pogba, perhaps the highest profile player to drop down to the bench. Marcelo Bielsa stuck with the lineup that impressed so much in their 5-2 win over Newcastle. Your commentators in Manchester were Jim Beglin and John Champion.
Well, Ollie, after 3 goals and 1 win from your first 6 home games, how welcome was that?
That was fantastic from the first minute. You know, we had a plan to get after them, go forward when we got the ball. And of course, Scott gets 2 goals in the first 3 minutes, which is a great start to a game.
You joked beforehand about popping a balloon in the dressing room to wake your players up for a fast start. So
yeah.
I take it you did that quite close to Scott McTominay's head.
We've found a way of getting them going anyway. And just imagine if that had 75,000 people here, it would have gone down in history as one of the better Man United performances against Leeds here at home.
Nuestros regresos fueron más lentos que las transiciones de ellos.
Our return was slower than their transition.
Y eso está vinculado a que cuando no lográbamos terminar los ataques nos costaba regresar al ritmo adecuado.
And this was linked to the fact that we couldn't finish our attacks and our return was not at the speed needed.
It's the first time you've conceded 6, certainly in your career in Europe. Does it hurt more as well because it was against Leeds' big rivals in a game that meant so much to your fans?
Que es la primera vez que usted le hacen 6 goles en Europa, que si duele más por el oponente contra el que jugamos y sabiendo lo que significa para los hinchas.
Por supuesto, muy doloroso.
Of course, it's very hurtful.
Well, we waited over a decade and a half for Manchester United against Leeds, and wow, Alan, it did not disappoint that game, did it? It was tremendous.
Well, everyone was expecting a really open game, and you know,
think we got that?
Absolutely, after a minute.
Yeah.
It was quite incredible. And coming away from the game, you're thinking, that could have been 12-5.
Yeah, I think Ollie said that in his post-match,
because Bamford had a hat-trick of chances, and they hit the post and missed a couple of other really good chances. But Man United took the counter-attack to another level. And every time they broke, they looked as if they was going to score.
Gabby, is that the type of match you would have liked to have played in? It was so open, wasn't it?
I think even in the first minute, I mean, when Fernandes gets the ball and he plays it to McTominay for the first goal, I mean, it's a striker's dream to be in that position against a team where you know you're going to have chances. I mean, if you look at Rashford, he didn't score today, but he had a time of his life out there. It was one-on-one whenever he got the ball. He was chopping, he was getting shots off. It was definitely an enjoyable game for Manchester United's players.
Yeah, Scott McTominay actually became the first player in Premier League history to score twice inside the opening 3 minutes of a match. It's never ever happened before. Was he different in your mind today, Alan? What was it? Was it his position?
Obviously, everyone's talking about him getting forward. I think when he's been playing before, he's been a holding midfield player. He's obviously had Pogba in there with him, or other midfield players like Fernandes who get forward. And his role was to sit back and be defensive. And I think he's now shown that perhaps he's the all-round midfield player. I mean, 2 fantastic goals. He makes a tackle. He sees a pass.
That step over there as well to get onto his left foot.
And I'm looking at him thinking, they've signed all these midfield players, Man United. Van der Beek, Pogba, Matic, except Fred, etc. And he's homegrown. He may be the best eventually. Cost him nothing.
As well, don't you think? Me, before today's game, I looked at McTominay and I thought, he's a player that Solskjaer always plays when it's a tough team, plays as a sitter with Fred. But today he showed he can be that attacking midfielder, get 2 goals and an assist. I mean, he was the man of the match today.
He spoke in post-match, Gabby, as well, about having this responsibility to break from midfield and to go past players with the ball as well. And it shows a different side of him because, like you say, he's been sort of almost a destroyer for Manchester United in the middle of midfield.
Yeah, I think today he showed that. I mean, the runs he's making there, if that was, you know, a David Silva making that run for his second goal, we'd be saying, wow, what a touch, what a run, what a finish. And he showed he can do everything. So I think he gives the manager a big headache now with the likes of Pogba, because you've seen McTominay can play as a sitter and he can play as an attacking midfielder.
Groin injury at the end. Does that spoil it a little bit from Spols's day?
I think so. You know, that he's establishing himself now. It seems like he's one of the three that's going to be playing for Ollie when he has to pick his best side. And as Gabby said, the big games. Got a big game coming up in midweek, like League Cup quarter-final, haven't they? And it'd be a big miss. But he showed another side of him today. And, no disrespect to Pogba, etc. But if he doesn't want to stay at Man United, I think Man United can quite cope with the players they got.
Another midfield player they've got is Bruno Fernandes, and what a game he had as well. He added the third goal for Manchester United after what was a great start to consolidate their dominance on this game, really. Yeah,
I mean, Ayling, I think, will look at this and think he should have closed him down and blocked the shot. But when he gets on the ball, you expect things to happen.
Yeah.
Don't you? You know, when he picks the ball up, I think it must be a forward's dream that you know if you make a run or you come short, he sees that, you know. So he don't just score goals, he makes goals as well.
How highly do you rate Bruno Fernandes, Gabby? Because his numbers are comparable with any other player, it seems, in the Premier League since he arrived. 29 goals and assists in 27 Premier League appearances. That's some going, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's been amazing. I mean, we talk about Kevin De Bruyne in previous seasons, but you pick Fernandes over De Bruyne now all day.
Really? Is that how highly you rate
all day now. I feel like when he gets the ball, like Alan says, if I was playing with him, you can make any run. You know he's going to find you. You know he's going to try and find you. If you want to play into feet and little 1-2s, he's going to play them as well. And something's always going to happen when he gets the ball. He's going to make an assist. He's going to score a goal. And he just looks like he's having fun out there.
Rate him higher than Jack Grealish?
I think they're both the same for me, I'd say.
Thought you might say that. We'll talk more about Jack later on in the programme. And Alan, for Manchester United, it's been tough going, actually, at Old Trafford for them. The majority of their points have come away from home, but this was the type of home performance they really needed, wasn't it?
And the type of opposition.
Yeah, they played into United's hands in Leeds.
Yeah, I think so. You know, very open, and they was open for the counter-attack. But, you know, it's hard to think that, you know, everyone's talking about how bad Man United have been so far this season. They've got a game in hand. They're up there in the top six. So, you know, it's not so bad. But I think that because of the home form, people have been writing them off. But they've got a squad, and it's a long season.
And goals from set pieces for Manchester United, which they clearly highlighted Leeds' Achilles heel. No team has conceded more from set pieces so far this season, and that's where the fourth came from.
Yeah, it's a poor goal to concede. And when you see it's flicked on at the near post, and Lindrock is away from Phillips, he just doesn't see him. He's not picked him up, he's run past him. It's
that sort of goal, isn't it? It's that sort of goal afterwards you like, oh, you know, I've messed up here. In your head, you know.
Calvin Phillips at the back.
Yeah. Phillips knows he's messed up. You know, you've not followed your man, and I think that's something that the manager will be upset with and your teammates, because if he follows Lindelof there, he clears it comfortably.
It's been a talking point, actually, Alan, for Marcelo Bielsa over the last few matches, because it's 8 goals now they conceded from set pieces. And he's kept saying that they've been working on it, they're trying to find a solution, but they haven't found one. I mean, teams are just going to target that every single match now, aren't they?
It's crazy, really. Sometimes you work too hard and you still get the same result. Perhaps he might change the system, perhaps have 3, as a zonal markers, and have man for man with the best headers of the opposition. You keep continually trying to change it, because if you're conceding as many goals as they are at set plays, you're on the back foot straight away.
It seems like Leeds are quite a small side, though, compared to sort of the average height of teams in the Premier League. So if you are smaller than the opposition, what can you do to try and combat that?
You've got to be touch tight. I mean, I'm sure Gabby would have marked centre-halves or centre-forwards that are a lot bigger. You touch tight and you make sure that there's contact. When the ball comes anywhere near, there's contact. And it looked as if players were running off of Leeds defenders there, willy-nilly. They weren't tracking them. And perhaps have 2 players on the post. Just do whatever you've got to do to try and stop it, so that the players get a bit of confidence. And I don't think the keeper really commands the 6-yard box. So I think opposition teams are putting that ball in there with a bit of pace. And if you get the first touch like Man United did, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a bit more then about Bruno Fernandes, because it wasn't just that goal that he did this afternoon. He scored the penalty as well. You thought he should have given it Scott McTominay, didn't you, Gabby?
Yeah, I think they've been swapping penalties, haven't they? When one of them wants it, another player has it. But I think McTominay on a hat-trick, probably the best chance he's going to have to ever get a Manchester United hat-trick. I would have thought they would have given it him, but I'm sure Fernandes wants the stats, he wants his assists, he wants his goals, and he's a penalty taker. And he put it away with quite ease.
Bruno's technique, Alan, what do you think of it?
Yeah, but he might have thought, if I score this, I could be on an hat-trick.
Yeah.
The way the goals were going in.
Yeah, true.
No, his technique, I think that... I think the goalkeepers don't like it, do they, when it's delayed in the run-up. But he seems to have worked it out, and fantastic penalty taker.
We've had a lot of praise, Leeds, so far this season. People have been amazed at the way Marcelo Bielsa goes about setting his team up and so on. But the points is not the impressive thing about Leeds. Are you concerned or becoming more concerned about their league position?
No, I think they had a decent start and they've drifted down. And when you look at the other two newly promoted sides, they really are struggling. But I think there's just so much about Leeds at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised that they do some business in a window. They're very attractive at the moment. I think if they go after some players, they've got a chance of getting them. And so I've got no worries about Leeds. I don't think they're going to finish in the top half, but I don't think they'll be looking over their shoulder.
You had a lot of fun with Leeds fans on social media this season, Gabby. At the risk of sort of stoking the fire again, are you concerned about their Premier League status for next season?
No, not at all.
Right?
I agree with Alan. You know, they'll be fine. They'll win games. Last week they beat Newcastle by 5 goals. This week they lose by 6. So they'll be fine. But for me, I just look at the first goal. It's the second minute in the game, first minute in the game, and you've got the midfielder Phillips, who should be in front of the back 2 centre-halves. He's on the right wing. For me, and I'm sure Alan, managing all his career and me in teams, you go to Old Trafford, you want to just keep it tight, first 10 minutes.
For at least a minute, yeah.
Exactly, and then these just, they fly forward. So I just feel like maybe some games when you're playing the bigger teams, maybe change the tactics a bit. But as a neutral, I mean, they're amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was a great watch, that match, certainly. After the break,